biggest mistake people make is focusing too much on the end results instead of the process. They think about the finish line, the success, the rewards, but they don't appreciate the journey. And because of that, they get frustrated when success doesn't come fast enough. But let me tell you something. Every great success story is built on patience, discipline, and consistency. The people who win in life aren't necessarily the smartest, the most talented, or the luckiest. They're the ones who kept showing up when everyone else quit. You see, most people start strong. They're motivated, they're excited, they're ready to go all in. But the moment things slow down, the moment the excitement fades, they start doubting themselves. They start questioning if they're even on the right path. But the ones who make it, they push through those moments. They understand that real success isn't about feeling motivated every day. It's about commitment. It's about getting up and putting in the work even when you don't feel like it. Think about an Olympic athlete. They don't train just when they feel inspired. They train every single day. They stick to the process, even when it's painful, even when they're exhausted, even when there's no immediate reward. Because they know that every workout, every practice, every repetition is moving them closer to their goal. You have to approach your dreams the same way. Success doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen in a week, a month, or sometimes even a year. It happens when you commit to the process for as long as it takes. And I know it's hard. I know it's frustrating to put in the work and not see immediate results. I know what it feels like to question yourself, to wonder if you're wasting your time, to compare yourself to others who seem to be moving faster. But let me remind you, everyone's timeline is different. Just because someone else got there faster doesn't mean you won't get there. Just because you haven't seen success yet doesn't mean it's not coming. Every step you take, every lesson you learn, every challenge you overcome is shaping you into the person you need to be for the success you want. Look at the most successful entrepreneurs, athletes, and leaders in the world. Every single one of them had to go through years of struggle before they made it. They had to endure failure, rejection, and doubt. But they didn't let those things stop them. They use them as fuel. You have to do the same. When things don't go as planned, don't get discouraged, get better. Learn from every mistake, adjust your strategy, keep growing. Because every setback is just another step forward if you use it the right way. And here's another thing. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop thinking you need everything to be right before you take action. There is no perfect moment. The best time to start is now. Too many people spend their lives waiting for the right time, waiting for more confidence, waiting for the fear to go away. And because of that, they never start, they never take action, they never see results. Don't let that be you. Start where you are, use what you have, do what you can, and trust that if you keep going, the results will come. And when they do, when you finally see everything you've worked for come to life, it will all make sense. You'll realize that the struggle was necessary, that the patience was worth it, that every late night, every early morning, every sacrifice was leading you to this moment. But you'll never get there if you stop now. So keep going, keep pushing, keep believing, because your time is coming. And when it does, you'll be grateful that you never gave up. Most people struggle because they don't trust the process. They want success now. They want results instantly. They start a new business, go to the gym, work on a skill, and expect overnight transformation. But let me tell you something. Anything worth having takes time. Think about the greatest athletes, the top entrepreneurs, the most successful people in the world. Do you think they just woke up successful? No, they started just like you. They started with a dream, a goal, a plan, and they stuck to it when others gave up. They showed up every single day, even when they didn't feel like it, even when there were no rewards, no applause, no recognition. You have to be willing to do the same. You have to be willing to put in the work, to show up when no one is watching, when no one is clapping, when no one believes in you yet. Because let me tell you, the most dangerous people in the world are the ones who keep going no matter what. The ones who don't need instant validation. The ones who know deep down that their time is coming. And here's the crazy part. Most people quit right before they break through. They stop pushing when they're just inches away from success. They say it's not working. I don't see results. But what they don't realize is that all the effort, all the sweat, all the struggle It's building up, it's stacking up like a dam ready to burst. And when it does, everything changes. But you'll never see that moment if you quit too soon. Think about Thomas Edison. He failed over 1,000 times before he invented the light bulb. 1,000 times. Most people would have quit after 10, 50, maybe 100 tries. But he didn't stop. He believed in the process. He knew that if he kept pushing, if he kept learning from every failure, eventually he would succeed, and he did. Now, I'm not saying you have to fail 1,000 times, but I am saying you have to be willing to fail. You have to be willing to go through the tough times, the slow times, the moments where it feels like nothing is working, because those are the moments that separate the winners from the quitters. Let me ask you, how bad do you want it? How bad do you want success? Are you willing to keep going even when it feels like nothing is happening? Are you willing to show up every day even when the results aren't immediate? Because if you are, then I promise you, you will win. And I know what some of you are thinking, but I've been working hard, I've been grinding for months, for years, and I still don't see results. Let me remind you, success doesn't work on your timeline. Just because you think it's taking too long doesn't mean it's not happening. Just because you don't see results yet doesn't mean the process isn't working. Every time you show up, every time you put in the work, you're planting seeds. You may not see them growing yet, but that doesn't mean they aren't taking root. Look at nature. You plant a seed today and you don't see anything for weeks, sometimes months. But beneath the surface, something is happening. Growth is happening. And eventually that seed breaks through the soil and turns into something incredible. Your success works the same way. But here's what most people do. They plant the seed and then they dig it up before it has a chance to grow. They stop putting in the effort, they stop believing, and then they wonder why they never succeed. You can't be that person. You have to trust the process. You have to be patient. You have to keep watering that seed even when you don't see growth, because eventually the results will come. And let me tell you, when they do, when you finally start to see everything you've worked for come together, it will all make sense. You'll realize that every struggle, every setback, every moment of doubt was necessary, that every failure was a lesson, that every challenge made you stronger. So don't quit. Don't stop. Don't let impatience rob you of your future success. Keep going, keep pushing, and keep believing, because your results are coming. And when they do, you'll look back and realize that it was all worth it. Most people never see success because they give up when they don't see immediate results. They think that just because they worked hard for a few weeks, a few months, or even a year, they should already be seeing massive changes. But that's not how greatness is built. That's not how success works. You ever heard of the Chinese bamboo tree? You plant the seed, and for 5 years, 5 whole years, you see nothing, no growth, no breakthrough, just dirt. And then suddenly, in the 5th year, that tree grows 90 feet in just 6 weeks. Now, let me ask you, did it grow in 6 weeks, or did it grow over 5 years? The answer is obvious. It was growing the whole time. The roots were spreading, getting stronger, creating the foundation it needed to explode when the time was right. That's exactly how success works. You might not see the results today, you might not see them tomorrow, but if you keep showing up, if you keep putting in the effort, your breakthrough is coming. And here's the thing, most people won't understand your process. They won't see the late nights, they won't see the sacrifices, they won't see the effort you're putting in. They'll only see the results when they finally show up, and then they'll call you lucky. They'll say you had it easy. They'll act like success just happened overnight. But you'll know the truth. You'll know the blood, the sweat, the years of effort that went into it. The real question is, can you handle the waiting? Can you handle the grind without immediate rewards? Can you trust the process even when the results aren't visible? Because let me tell you, the ones who make it aren't the ones who get lucky. They're the ones who refuse to quit. Look at the greats. Look at Michael Jordan, cut from his high school basketball team. He could have quit. He could have accepted that he wasn't good enough, but instead he used that failure as fuel. He trained harder, he practiced longer, and the results? 6 NBA championships, the greatest to ever do it. Or look at J.K. Rowling, rejected by 12 publishers before Harry Potter became the best-selling book series in history. Most people would have given up after the first rejection, the second, the third, but she kept going. She believed in her work even when no one else did, and that's why she won. That's the kind of mindset you need. You need to believe so deeply in what you're doing that quitting isn't even an option. You need to show up every single day, knowing that even if today doesn't bring results, you're one step closer. But here's the problem. Most people don't have the patience for that. Most people want everything fast. They want instant success, instant money, instant fame, and when they don't get it, they move on to something else. They jump from goal to goal, never sticking around long enough to see results, and that's why they stay stuck. You can't be like that. You have to commit. You have to decide that no matter how long it takes, no matter how hard it gets, you're going to keep pushing. You're going to keep grinding. Because the truth is, success isn't about who's the smartest, the most talented, or the most gifted. It's about who's the most consistent, who's willing to put in the work day after day, year after year, even when no one is watching. You've got to develop a different mindset, a winner's mindset, a mindset that says, I don't care how long this takes. I don't care how many obstacles come my way. I will keep going. Because if you can develop that mindset, if you can stay committed, even when the process is slow, there's nothing that can stop you. And listen, I get it. It's frustrating to work hard and feel like nothing is happening. It's tough to keep pushing when you don't see results. But that's exactly when you need to push harder. That's exactly when most people quit. And that's when you need to separate yourself. Because the results will come. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but they will come. And when they do, all the struggle, all the frustration, all the hard days, it will all be worth it. But only if you stay the course. Only if you refuse to quit. So ask yourself, are you willing to wait for it? Are you willing to keep grinding even when it feels like nothing is happening? Because if you are, if you can be patient, if you can be relentless, your time is coming. And when it does, the world will finally see what you knew all along. The success was never about luck. It was about persistence, about faith, about putting in the work every single day, trusting that sooner or later, the results would come. The problem with most people is they expect success to be like a vending machine. Put in a little effort and get instant results. But that's not how it works. Success is like planting a tree. You put in the effort, you plant the seed, you water it every day, and for a long time, it looks like nothing is happening. The people around you might even start doubting you. Why are you wasting your time? Why don't you just do something easier? But they don't realize what's happening underground. They don't see the roots spreading, getting stronger, preparing for the breakthrough. And that's exactly where most people fail. They quit too soon. They stop watering the seed before it has a chance to grow. They walk away from their dreams right before the results were about to show up. You see, every big success story has a moment when a person had to decide, keep going or give up. And the ones who make it, they choose to keep going. Think about Thomas Edison. It took him over 1,000,000 attempts to invent the light bulb. Most people would have quit after 10, after 100, after 1,000. But he knew the truth. Failure is just part of the process. Every attempt was getting him closer to the breakthrough. He didn't see failure as the end. He saw it as feedback, as progress, as a necessary step towards success. And it's the same for you. The work you're putting in today might not show results immediately, but every hour you invest, every skill you build, every lesson you learn, it's all stacking up. And one day, when the time is right, everything will come together, but only if you don't give up. I see too many people looking for shortcuts. They want the six-pack without the workouts. They want the millions without the grind. They want the rewards without the patience. But the world doesn't work like that. Anything worth having takes time. Think about professional athletes. They don't wake up one day and become champions. They train for years. They practice when nobody's watching. They put in the work long before they ever step into the spotlight. And that's the mindset you need to have. You're in training mode right now. Every single day, you're getting stronger, smarter, better. But only if you stay consistent. Because here's the truth. Most people don't lose because they're not talented. They don't lose because they're not smart enough. They lose because they stop showing up. They lose because they don't have the patience to see the process through. The most dangerous thing you can do is expect quick results. That's how you set yourself up for disappointment. That's how you set yourself up to quit too soon. Instead, you have to train yourself to love the process. You have to find joy in the work and the discipline and the struggle. You have to remind yourself every day, this is part of the journey. This is what success looks like before it happened. And I know what some of you are thinking, but I've been grinding for years and I still don't see the results. Listen to me. If you've been putting in the right work, it's coming, but you've got to stay the course. You've got to trust that all the energy you're putting in will eventually come back to you. It might not happen the way you expect. It might not happen on your timeline, but it will happen. The difference between winners and everyone else is that winners don't stop when they're tired. They stop when they're done. They stop when the job is finished. They stop when the dream is a reality. So ask yourself right now, are you willing to keep going? Are you willing to put in the work even when you don't see the results yet? Because if you are, I promise you, the results will come. It's just a matter of time. Everybody wants results, everybody wants success, but the truth is results don't happen overnight. You plant the seed today and you don't see the fruit tomorrow. You grind, you push, you put in the effort, and for a long time, it feels like nothing is happening. But let me tell you something. The work you put in is never wasted. The time, the energy, the sweat, it's all being stored, waiting for the right moment to explode into results. Most people quit because they don't see instant success. They put in a week, a month, maybe even a year, and when they don't see the big breakthrough, they give up. But champions, they know the truth. They understand that results take time. Look at anybody who's ever done something great. The athletes, the business moguls, the artists, the inventors. They all had one thing in common: patience. They knew the grind was necessary. They understood that the struggle wasn't there to stop them. It was there to test them. How bad do you really want it? How much are you willing to endure before you see the payoff? Because most people are only committed until it gets hard. The moment they face resistance, they start doubting, they start questioning if it's even worth it. And that's exactly why most people never make it. You can't rush greatness. You can't shortcut success. The foundation has to be strong, and that takes time. You wouldn't expect a skyscraper to go up in a day, right? First, they dig deep into the ground. They lay the foundation. It's slow. It's tedious. It doesn't look like much is happening. But if that foundation isn't solid, the building won't last. Your dreams are the same way. You're in the foundation phase. Every late night, every early morning, every sacrifice, it's all part of the process. And if you trust the process, if you stay committed, the results will come. But here's where most people mess up. They start looking at other people's success and they get impatient. They see someone else winning and suddenly they feel like they're behind. They start thinking, why is it happening for them and not for me? And that's when they start making mistakes. They rush, they force things, they start cutting corners. And in the end, they never reach their full potential because they didn't allow time to do its work. You got to stay locked in. You got to focus on your own journey. Don't worry about how long it's taken. Don't compare yourself to anybody else. Your time will come. The seeds you're planting today will grow, but only if you keep watering them. Only if you keep showing up. You can't dig up the seed every 2 days to check if it's growing. That's not how it works. You plant, you water, you wait. And when the time is right, you harvest. So I'm here to tell you, keep going. Even when it feels like nothing is happening, even when you feel stuck, even when it seems like everybody else is moving forward while you're standing still, that's when you got to push even harder because the results, they're coming. The success, it's on the way, but only if you're willing to wait, to work, and to keep believing. Most people quit because they don't see results fast enough. They expect instant success, instant rewards, instant validation. But let me tell you something. Anything worth having takes time. Anything great requires patience. The problem isn't that you're not capable. The problem is that you're not willing to endure the process long enough to see the results. Think about it. How many people start something with excitement and energy only to give up after a few weeks? How many people begin working on their goals, but when things get tough, they walk away? That's the difference between those who succeed and those who don't. The ones who make it are the ones who refuse to quit no matter how long it takes. The reality is progress is happening even when you can't see it. You're growing, you're learning, you're becoming stronger. But most people don't trust the process, so they abandon it before the results show up. Imagine planting a seed. You water it, you give it sunlight, but after a week, there's nothing. After a month, still nothing. Some people will give up and walk away, assuming the seed was never going to grow. But the person who understands patience, they keep watering, they keep nurturing, because they know that just because they don't see progress above the ground doesn't mean something isn't happening below it. That's how success works. The results don't show up overnight, but if you keep putting in the effort, one day you'll see the breakthrough. But you have to stay in the game long enough to experience it. That's where most people fail. They think if they don't see success right away, it's not coming. They assume if things aren't happening fast, they're doing something wrong. But the truth is, success always takes longer than you think. Look at the greatest athletes, entrepreneurs, and leaders. None of them achieved success in a day. They spent years training, practicing, failing, adjusting. They committed to the long game while everyone else was chasing shortcuts. You can't cheat the process. Too many people look for hacks and tricks to speed things up, but there's no substitute for consistency. You have to show up every day. You have to push through the tough moments. You have to keep believing in yourself even when no one else does. Because if you do that, the results will come. I know it's hard to trust in something you can't see yet. I know it's frustrating when you're working hard and it feels like nothing is changing. But trust me, every bit of effort you put in is building something. Every day you show up, you're getting closer. Every time you push past doubt, you're proving to yourself that you have what it takes. Success isn't about talent, it's about endurance. It's about refusing to give up, no matter how long it takes. You have to develop patience. You have to understand that real success is a marathon, not a sprint. And here's the key: don't compare your journey to someone else's. Just because someone else is winning now doesn't mean you won't win later. Just because someone else reached their goals faster doesn't mean you're behind. Your path is your own. Stay focused on it. There's going to be moments where you want to quit. Times when you question if all this effort is even worth it. Times when you feel like nothing is working. That's when you have to dig deeper. That's when you have to remind yourself why you started in the first place. You didn't come this far just to give up. You have to keep pushing even when it's uncomfortable. You have to keep moving forward even when you don't feel like it, because every time you push through resistance, you grow stronger. Every time you stay committed, you separate yourself from the people who quit too soon. And one day when you finally see the results, when you finally reach that goal, you realize it was all worth it. But you have to be willing to stay the course, because the truth is, results take time, but they will come.